In the Wheel of Time, few characters undergo as wild and unpredictable a transformation as Matrim Cauthon. The charming rogue, with a penchant for gambling and mischief, quickly becomes one of the most pivotal players in the battle against the Shadow. Much of Mat's growth stems from a mysterious and powerful moment in the story, when he enters the realm of the Eelfinn and is granted 3 wishes. These wishes dramatically alter the course of his life and reshape his destiny in ways that ripple across the series. With Season 3 of the Amazon Prime adaptation unfolding, fans are eager to see how the show handles this critical turning point from the books. Although the TV series has made significant changes to Mat's journey, understanding the original significance of his 3 wishes helps explain just how essential they are, not just to his story, but to the entire Wheel of Time mythos. Mat's encounter with the Eelfinn. Before diving into the wishes themselves, it's important to understand the context. In Robert Jordan's The Shadow Rising, Mat accompanies Rand and Moiraine to the fabled city of Ruian. There, he enters a redstone Turingriel, a doorway to another dimension inhabited by a mysterious race known as the Eelfinn. These fox-like beings offer answers and wishes, but always at a price. Unlike the previous trip, he made through another doorway in Tyr, where he was given cryptic answers by the snake-like Eelfinn. This time, Mat interacts with the wish-granting Eelfinn. His time in their realm nearly kills him, but not before he asks for 3 crucial things. 1. I want the holes in my memory filled. Mat's first wish reflects his growing fear and confusion over the gaps in his memory. Ever since his exposure to the tainted dagger from Shadar Logoth, he has struggled with strange visions, forgotten moments, and mysterious voices in his head. But beneath the surface, this wish is about more than just clarity. It's about power. The Eelfinn grant his wish by flooding his mind with centuries' worth of battle memories, taken from long-dead generals, kings, and warriors. These memories are vivid and real, giving Mat access to knowledge, strategies, and instincts that far exceed his own life experience. This wish effectively transforms Mat into one of the most capable military minds in the world. He becomes a natural leader, winning battles not through brute strength or the One Power, but with cunning and tactics. Yet it also creates a strange duality within him. He's still Mat, the irreverent gambler and reluctant hero, but now he carries the weight of countless lives and wars in his head. His decisions are haunted by echoes of the past, and this shapes both his internal struggles and his role in the coming last battle. 2. I want to be free of Isedai and the power. Mat's second wish is a reaction to his deep mistrust of the Isedai. Throughout the series, he is constantly being manipulated or used by them, especially by Moiraine, and later by Egwene and others. Mat, valuing his freedom above all else, doesn't want to be a pawn in their game. When he asks to be free of Isedai and the power, the Eelfinn interpret this in a surprisingly literal and clever way. He is granted a Turingriel medallion, later known as the Foxhead Medallion, which protects him from direct weaves of the One Power. No Isedai can manipulate him with compulsion, healing, or any other weave while he wears it. This makes Mat one of the few individuals in the world nearly immune to channelers. This gift has massive implications. It allows him to stand toe-to-toe with powerful enemies, including Forsaken and Isedai, without being at their mercy. It also furthers his independence and enables him to pursue his own path in the war without falling under anyone's control. However, the wish also isolates him. He becomes an anomaly in a world where the One Power shapes politics, war, and prophecy. His immunity marks him as different, not quite of the same world as Rand, Egwene, and the others, and that alienation feeds into his lone wolf persona. It also adds an ironic twist. Though he resents responsibility, fate continues to thrust it upon him. 3. I want to be taken back to Ruian. Mat's third and final wish, on the surface, seems simple. He wants to be returned to Ruian, the city from which he entered the Eelfinn's realm. But as with everything involving the Eelfinn, the fulfillment of the wish comes with a brutal and unexpected twist. Instead of gently returning him, the Eelfinn hang Mat by the neck from the Tree of Life, Avendesora, in Ruian, nearly killing him. It's only through intervention that he survives, suspended between life and death. When he awakens, he bears a lasting mark from the event, a rope scar around his neck. More importantly, Matt is irrevocably changed. This moment serves as a symbolic rebirth. The Matt who emerges from that ordeal is no longer just a lucky gambler or an unwilling hero. He is now bound to the pattern in a deeper, more mythic sense. It's no coincidence that Jordan uses the sacred tree of life as the site for this transformation. Avendisora is a symbol of rebirth, history, and peace. But here it becomes the place of Matt's trial by death. He returns not only with new memories and magical protection, but with a deeper understanding of fate. While he still grumbles about the pattern and resists prophecy, he can no longer deny that he has a role to play. In some ways, this experience cements his transformation into a Taveran, a person around whom the pattern weaves itself. From this point onward, Matt becomes central to the forces that will shape the last battle. The mythological weight of the wishes. Together, Matt's 3 wishes echo ancient mythological archetypes. His journey through the Redstone Doorway resembles a descent into the underworld, a place where he must confront death, the unknown, and a transformation of the self. Like heroes in Greek mythology or Norse legend, Matt returns not with riches or treasure, but with knowledge, protection, and purpose. Each wish also reflects a different layer of his personality. The first, memories, speaks to his hidden strength and his emerging identity as a leader. The second, freedom from the power, reinforces his defiant, independent spirit. The third, return to Ruian, is about destiny. No matter how much he tries to run, the pattern will always pull him back in. These aren't wishes born from greed or power lust. They come from confusion, frustration, and a desire to reclaim agency in a world that constantly pulls him in directions he doesn't choose. That complexity is what makes Matt one of the most compelling characters in the Wheel of Time saga. Will the show include Matt's wishes? This is one of the most debated questions among fans of the Amazon series. So far, the Wheel of Time has changed or condensed many of Matt's book moments. In Season 2, his storyline was heavily altered, and he has not yet traveled to Ruian or encountered the Eelfinn directly. However, showrunner Rafe Judkins has hinted that elements from these storylines will still find their way into the show, even if they arrive differently than in the books. We've already seen Min have a vision of Matt hanging from a tree, which seems to foreshadow his Ruian ordeal. That could mean the Eelfinn arc will play out in a different location or context, but with similar emotional and narrative consequences. What matters most is whether the show preserves the essence of these wishes. They're not just a quirky fantasy moment. They're the crucible that transforms Matt from a supporting character into one of the 3 central figures of the last battle. If the show manages to capture that transformation, even with some adaptation liberties, it can still deliver the weight and depth that fans expect from Matt's journey. Matt and the Band of the Red Hand. Matt's newfound knowledge from the Eelfinn doesn't just sit dormant. It becomes the foundation for one of the most iconic chapters in his life, the formation of the Band of the Red Hand. This legendary military group, which Matt creates almost accidentally, becomes a powerful force in the war against the Shadow. But Matt's success with the band isn't merely good fortune. It's a direct result of his first wish. The battle memories granted to him by the Eelfinn allow Matt to think and lead like a seasoned commander. He knows how to maneuver cavalry, coordinate sieges, and read the battlefield like few others alive. He doesn't just win fights. He outthinks his enemies in ways they never expect, often using unorthodox or risky strategies that somehow pay off. His leadership of the band reinforces a central paradox of his character. He doesn't want to be a hero, yet he becomes one of the most effective military minds in the fight for the light. His troops follow him not just out of respect, but out of awe. He wins when he shouldn't, survives when others would fall, and inspires loyalty with a mix of charm, bravado, and deadly competence. Without the Eelfinn's gift, Matt would likely never have become a general. His wish plants the seed for a legacy that becomes vital to the fate of nations. The Daughter of the Nine Moons. Another major consequence of Matt's altered destiny is his eventual meeting with Tuon, the Daughter of the Nine Moons and heir to the Sintian Empire. Their relationship begins in the most Matt-like way possible. He kidnaps her, not knowing who she really is, and through a series of chaotic and unpredictable events, the two fall into a reluctant romance. This connection was actually foreshadowed earlier in the series when the Eelfinn, from the first Redstone doorway, told Matt that he would marry the daughter of the Nine Moons. At the time, it made no sense to him. But once he meets Toon, prophecy begins to unravel into reality. Matt and Toon's relationship is one of tension, power struggle, and unexpected respect. Toon is used to commanding entire continents. Matt just wants to be left alone to gamble and drink. And yet, their bond becomes one of the most politically and thematically important relationships in the series. Through Toon, Matt becomes a bridge between the Tzeentch and the rest of the world. He helps shift the Empire's role in the last battle, guiding them toward alliance rather than domination. Without his influence and his strangely fated love story with Toon, the Tzeentch might have remained enemies rather than uneasy allies. This entire arc, again, can be traced back to his interactions with the Eelfinn and Eelfinn. The knowledge and gifts they give him prepare him for a destiny he never sought, including a marriage that ties him to the world in a way that even he can't walk away from. Matt's role in the last battle. As the Wheel of Time builds toward its epic climax, Matt becomes not just a player in the war, but a pivotal commander in the last battle, known as Tarmangaden. While Rand faces the Dark One in a cosmic duel, Matt is on the ground, leading forces against armies of Trollocs, Fades, and the Forsaken. Everything about Matt's role in the final conflict ties back to his three wishes. The memories give him the skills to outmaneuver the Shadow's armies. The Foxhead Medallion protects him from magical attacks, making him a one-man counter to the Forsaken's dominance. And the Death and Rebirth in Ruian gives him the psychological and emotional fortitude to lead even in the face of overwhelming odds. He doesn't just lead troops, he inspires them. He keeps morale high, makes impossible calls, and faces horrors that would cripple anyone else. Matt's presence at the last battle is crucial, not just for strategy, but for the very survival of the Light's forces. What makes Matt so unique is that he remains grounded throughout. Even as the world's fate hinges on his actions, he still cracks jokes, complains about fate, and bets on dice rolls. He stays mad, but he becomes a legend. Final thoughts. Matt's three wishes from the Eelfinn are one of the boldest and most fascinating character transformations in fantasy literature. They give him strength, protection, and purpose, but not in a way he ever asked for or expected. In fact, that's what makes him such a compelling figure. He becomes a hero despite himself. These wishes don't just serve as plot devices. They are the building blocks of Matt's myth. They elevate him from a comic relief character to a cornerstone of the battle against the Shadow. They shape his identity, his relationships, and his role in the pattern itself. If the TV adaptation does justice to this arc, even if it arrives there through different routes, it could deliver one of the most unforgettable character journeys in the series. Matt Cauthon is many things: gambler, trickster, warrior, general, and prince. But above all, he is the man who made three wishes and paid the price to become a legend.